to start today?
Well,
this isn't here. You want to just hit it with doors?
Yeah.
Alright, and we can do a couple takes if it's not cool or if we can.
Well, Chris ain't here to fuck it up, so I can get in one take.
Oh,
Shots fired, shots fired. Okay, welcome to Doors at 7, Kitchen at 9. Looks a little different. Chris is not here. Bad news, guys. Like, he was so distraught over getting crushed by them bars, he doesn't want to do the show anymore.
Ooh.
So now I got to carry the weight, but I've been carrying the weight since day one, so nothing's on.
Oh my god! Oh my god!
So yeah, so anyways, Chris is no longer with us, and now it's just me. So now you got to put up with me. Just kidding, April Fools. No, what really happened is, you know, Chris is out in quarantine right now, and we decided we wanted to do this show. We've been talking about it for a couple of years, and it's actually been about almost exactly a year since the quarantine happened. When the pandemic first hit, me and him were on the phone, like, let's get this show going. We didn't have any good, like, cameras, so we're trying to figure out how to video chat and record it, and it was such a mess, and then somehow our production team stepped up and said they wanted to get involved, and now we're here.
Because it was fucking painful watching you guys trying to figure out new technology.
Yeah. So, you know, we're pretty reckless when it comes to, like, being on a stage, even being on a kitchen. Like, I got some fucking burns here from oil. But when it comes to the safety of our family and friends, we are not reckless. So, yeah, give it up for us. So, actually, like, we've been doing the show for a few months. I think this is, like, the third or fourth time we've had to quarantine. And we've skipped out on a recording session. But luckily for us, we've had a few episodes that we could just seamlessly transition so no one knew the difference. But now we're running to the bottom of the barrel here. Just like our hosts are bottom of the barrel people. So,
Hey, you said it, not me.
Yeah, I mean, shit, someone, like, the intro thing, like, someone's like, when we first put it out, they're like, oh, I caught an episode of your loser show. I'm like, what the fuck is the loser show? And they're like, your show, or you guys are losers. It says it right in the commercial.
Oh, man. You didn't even know he was talking about you.
Yeah. So, we don't have Chris, so we're going to debut one of these clips that we recorded, I don't even know how long ago, but we were doing a show. We got way off topic. Reed started telling us about Pokemon cards, and there were like 45 minutes in, and we're like, we got to fucking get back to what we're even talking about. So, we're going to have that clip. It's a little bit about collectibles. We already know, like, we're not allowed to talk about bands that begin with a K anymore on the show, because our producer's ready to fucking
sick of it.
He's so sick of it.
That's as much as talking about them as I want to do. Like, just talking about how we're not going to talk about them. That's even too much talking.
So at some point we're going to see, like, Chris's collection of Gene Simmons inflatable tongues and whatever else the fuck he has, but we have a little clip we're going to show, talk a little bit about collectibles, and we got lots of collectibles too. Like, personally for me, like, it's stickers. My favorite sticker that I do have is a sticker that is a New York City Sanitation sticker. It took me 3 trips to New York City to fucking get this sticker. I had to fucking finally peel it off of a garbage can outside of a hotel when we went to that Ween show.
Yeah.
Which we're not getting into the Ween episode yet, but needless to say, we were on mushrooms. We came back to our fucking hotel. It's like 5 in the morning after the craziest adventure we ever had, I think. We'll save for another time. Judging by Bob's laugh, he knows all about it. He remembers.
Rambles.
The rambles. Should we just talk about it? Cause we got
no, I don't think so. I think we should save that.
So anyways, yeah, we'll save it. And we pull up. We get off the train. And we were going to walk like the 10 blocks back to our hotel. I think we ended up taking a cab, which was...
Yeah, because I was like, you guys are fucking stupid if you want to walk at 3 o'clock in the morning. Fucking... Where the fuck were we? We were Rockaway Beach at 3 o'clock in the morning, the fucking sketchiest part of it.
Oh, yeah, and then when we got in that cab and we drove by all that sketchy shit, like chop shops and all kinds of weird shit going on, we're like, yeah...
I just remember that couple arguing with that super fucking tall dude, and he was lit up. You could tell he was fucking wrecked. And they were just arguing about something, and he was like... I think he was swearing at the cabbie as he was going by.
Shit was all fucking weird. Wasn't there, like, there was like an alley and wasn't there a bunch of people down the alley like at 3 in the morning having like a sermon or some shit? Like outside?
I don't know.
Yeah, shit was weird.
That might have been the Shrooms.
It could have been the Shrooms.
Anyways.
But we get back to the hotel, and like I said, I've seen the sticker. It's on the garbage cans. Like, I've been wanting it. It's hard to fucking get. We get out. There's a little bodega next to our hotel, so we go in, get some snacks and shit, get back to the hotel, training days on, like, the mushrooms are, like, fucking wearing off a little bit. Go outside, smoke a cig. There's a garbage can right there with this fucking sticker on it, so I fucking went and got some tools and fucking meticulously cut it out. And it's on my guitar, and there's gonna be a picture of it right here.
Are you sure you're gonna hand me the picture?
Yeah, no, I got the picture for sure. So that's one of my favorite things. It's a New York City Sanitation.
How do you, like, when you take stickers off of things that they're already on and you save them, do you just put them on something else, or is there a way to, like, preserve it?
If we're walking around, like, say, New York, and there's graffiti stickers everywhere, and that was one of the main things I like to collect, so I'm out there peeling stickers. I buy them, too, so sticker people don't get mad I'm peeling their stickers. But, like, I'll take the subway map, I'll stick them on there, I'll stick them on my shirt, whatever, like, stick them in my wallet. When me and Vic were in Pittsburgh last time, they had a Pittsburgh Sanitation sticker outside our hotel on the garbage can, and I could not fucking get it. I ended up...
The garbage can won the battle?
The garbage can... I sat there, and I was like...
That's such trash.
Yeah, no, I'm walking out of the office, and I see it right there. I'm like, oh, I need this fucking sticker, and I'm like, I'm gonna get it. Like, I don't... And it was such a sketchy motel, too. You remember that? Like, there was a Mexican family out in the backyard, like, cooking a barbecue over a fucking tire pit. And then there was, like...
So it's sketchy because they're Mexican?
No, it was sketchy because it was, like, a $49 a night hotel. Had my little sister and Ball meet us out to go to this pumpkin show, and they got to the fucking hotel before we did. And my sister's calling me up, like, yo, this is so sketchy. Like, there's all these fucking cops here, like...
Yeah,
what the fuck?
$50 fucking
yeah.
no-tell motel.
Yeah, and the thing is, like, I had originally booked like $180 hotel, and they were supposed to split the bill with me, and then they like didn't want to split the bill. I was like, all right, well, we're just gonna get like a cheaper hotel then, and yeah, that's what happens.
Get what you pay for.
So yeah, that was pretty fun, but could not get that fucking sticker. And then it's cool because like my friends all know about the sticker love. My girl knows about the sticker love, so even when her and her mom are out in New York City for like a mom-daughter trip, they're all drunk in the middle of the night ripping stickers off of telephone poles and shit like that. So, yeah, we have our...
For you or just because they're vandals?
A little bit of both, I guess. I mean, the alcohol definitely helps, but yeah, I got a bunch of cool stickers. And one of these days, after we do the Gene Simmons collection...
Let's not.
I know.
Does he really have a Gene Simmons collection? Fuck, I'm doing it. I'm talking about this. Fuck it. All right, let's move on.
All right, so are we going to show the clip, or we got more shit to talk about? So, now that we've talked a little about stickers, why Chris isn't here, and we're going to get into our clip that we filmed months ago. I don't even remember what was on it. I do think we talk about Pokemon. And
Pokemon, a bunch of different cards. Yeah, it's good stuff.
All right, so let's check out the clip.
What was your guys' favorite lunchbox in school? Like elementary or middle school that you had?
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Hands down, Thundercats.
Really? The blue one?
No,
I don't remember what color it was, but I had a Thundercats lunchbox. It was fucking amazing.
I had the red turtle one with Shredder in the background.
Did you?
All up. And then
see, I only had
turtles are all up in front.
Well, I got some years on you, so by the time Turtles came out, I wasn't carrying lunchboxes anymore.
Yeah, that's sort of cool. You got to like see that whole beginning of that, probably.
Although, like, right in the 90s, when Marilyn Manson came out, and then lunchboxes were kind of the thing again.
Right.
And, like, I was huge into Manson, but I never had, like, the lunchboxes to carry around. We go to Manson shows, and all the Manson kids would have, like, their favorite little lunchbox.
I forgot about that shit.
The Manson lunchbox?
Popular lunchboxes now when Manson came out again.
Which was fucking awesome.
And now they're still pretty popular. Like, you can get a lunchbox, like, many bands and movies and shit.
Oh, yeah, because, you know, there's been a resurgence. People want to go back and buy the old ones that are hundreds of dollars now.
Well, you know what's funny? Not all of them are. The Kiss one that I've been searching out for from 77 for literally 20 years, every time I find one, it's either beat to shit and overpriced or just signed and extremely out of my range. Or just ridiculous. They're like $300-400, but like a Happy Times lunchbox does not go for that.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's Kiss, and you know, that Kiss merch, like,
yeah.
Not only is everybody giving Gene Simmons their money for the merch, and now everyone's trying to recoup that money and resell it for a higher price to people like you.
Yeah, but why? But that's my problem, though. I'm gonna buy it, and I'm never gonna be able to sell it. Like I could sell it, but I just won't. Like, I get in those, like, because I've been wanting it for so long. Well, the thing is, if I'm ever going to sell my Kiss collection, it's literally going to be all of it.
I say you're not going to piece out your Kiss collection after you.
Actually, during the first quarantine when I got laid off, I started doing live auctions, but the packaging and the time it was taking and the money to do all that shit was just not even worth it.
The question is, when you die, are you going to try to be buried in a Kiss coffin? Is this a goal? Something you thought of?
No, I mean, if that's what my family, I would love to be buried with at least one of my items in a bag of weed, and I'd be one of my Kiss items.
Which Kiss item we need to know?
Yeah.
Like you're on borrowed time as it is.
Oh shit! I know.
His Gene Simmons flashlight.
Oh Jesus! They don't exist yet. Gene, if you had one, dude, it'd be up my ass.
The 9-inch tongue with some blood dripping.
Just stick my dick in it. Ugh.
No, if God forbid something happens to you before something happens to me, and you don't get a Kiss coffin, I'll at least hand paint the Kiss logo on your coffin for you.
There you go, man.
And the faces too.
Yeah,
Not a huge Kiss fan, but I mean the imagery is so iconic that I've used Kiss makeup in a lot of my drawings on raccoons, birds, pumpkins. Like, it's pretty identifiable.
You know what I would be buried with? If I had to pick one item, it'd probably be the flyer for the first Kiss show I ever went to. For the pure fact of, remember I talked about last week about, like, how family life wasn't always the greatest for me, and they didn't know how to deal with an out-of-control, anxiety-ridden kid. My dad still took me to a lot of shows and did a lot of shit with me. And I'll never forget how I got introduced to Kiss. My dad was teaching me how to ride a bike in a VFW parking lot 2 blocks from our house. And he just said, I got to show you this band Kiss. Like, the singer comes out and sings this song, Beth, and they blow off all these fireworks and stuff. The month he told me that was the month the reunion happened. So I had forgotten about it. And then went to Wegmans that had just gotten built by my house, and they were all over fucking everything because they had just put the makeup back on, and it changed my fucking life. And I remember when that reunion show came here, which was only like 16 dates in, it was in October of 1996. I remember us going to a family party and me crying on the thruway going by the arena on...
Because you weren't going to the show?
Yeah, because it was my dad's birthday. It was October 13th, 1996. And literally 3 months before is when I fell in love with this fucking band.
Really?
Yeah.
Did you show up to the party wearing your Kiss makeup?
No, dude, but I remember my dad putting in the cassette as we were on the thruway to try to make me feel better. And us seeing HSBC Arena right to the left. And me just bawling my fucking eyes out. I mean, in 1996, I was fucking 8 years old. And I was bawling my eyes out about Kiss. I'm fucking 32 and I still cry about Kiss sometimes.
Yeah,
it's a
96,
fucked up situation.
That was my senior year in high school. And you were, what, in like second grade?
Yeah.
Man,
Real quick funny Kiss story about me getting in trouble because of them. In third grade, third fucking grade, I have a Kiss cassette, Smashes, Thrashes, and Hits, that my dad buys me at the store. So this must be at the same time I was just talking about. He goes in behind my mother's back, bought the cassette for me, hid it in the old milk box we used to have, and then they went, and my dad's like, all right, we're going to go out, stay with your grandmother, and go grab that cassette from the milk box. I listened to it. Well, there's a song called Let's Put the X in Sex and You Make Me Rock Hard. Smashes and Thrashes and Hits was a compilation album, and they put 2 new songs on it, and it was You Make Me Rock Hard and Let's Put the X in Sex. In third grade, my teacher was reading a book, and I had out the cassette lyric sheet, and I'm writing down the lyrics to You Make Me Rock Hard. And she came over and took it and read those fucking lyrics, and I was in third grade. Read those lyrics. You turn me up, you get me round. Dude, the whole thing. You make me rock hard, baby, all night.
Did she read it to the class?
No.
Or
she called my father. I went to a Catholic school with 350
did she
kids.
sing it to your father?
Yeah, right.
No. I remember her asking me specifically, me saying, don't call my dad, and her asking me if things at home were rough. At that time, I was in third grade, they weren't, but it was just, I feared my father because he was just so loud and abrasive. But yeah, that's one of the stories where Hey, shit, I got that Kiss cassette taken away.
Funny thing is, I have a similar story, not with Kiss, but when I think I was in 8th grade, and I had a lot of problems in middle school, a lot of fighting. Something we'll talk about some other time. But one of the things, there was, shit talking battles between kids, right? Kids would shit talk each other.
Right.
I was the master of it.
Like your mama joke shit talking, right? That was the big time for that. Yeah.
To the point where kids would come up and start these shit talking battles early in the day with me, so they could see what kind of material they could get out of me, and then go use it for their battles elsewhere.
Right.
So, true story. So, at this time, I was going to the mall, I was buying all these books, a lot of joke books, dirty jokes, whatever. So I had this book of dirty jokes, and I brought it into school. Is that
still a big thing? Sorry, is that still a big thing with kids these days? Like dirty jokes and your mama jokes and stuff? Is that a thing? It would still, because it transcends your time era. That was huge.
Yeah, was it? It was in my school. It was huge.
I think it's just called memes now.
Yeah, that's what it is.
The whole thing changed, right?
That the joke books and stuff all turned into dark humor.
Yeah,
that's used a lot in even elementary school, middle school. It's all dark humor.
Do you think maybe that's what is slowly eliminating? Not eliminating.
But kids aren't jumping out of their seats and going to their classmates saying, "Your mama's so dumb it takes her an hour to cook minute rice." Your mama's so fat her ass has its own zip code.
Yes, but only to make fun of the fact that people actually used to make those jokes.
Yeah, that's what I thought. That's why I asked the question.
We're not being serious, and
this is the shit our parents used to say when they sat at these very desks. So anyway, I get this.
So you're just basically goofing on James as a kid.
Yeah.
So
continue.
So I have this particular joke book. It's Dirty What Offensive Jokes Volume 3. And I bring it to school just for my own reading, whatever, so I have something to do because class is kind of boring. I already know what's going on. Other kids know that I have this book, so everybody wants to read this book. And so I let some kids, check it out. It starts making the rounds of school. Everybody's catching on to this book. That particular day, everybody has the book at some point.
Almost like the Burn book, right? Sort of.
Yeah.
From Mean Girls. Yeah.
So, at some point, it's probably 3rd or 4th period. A teacher had found the book, read the book, ended up getting a call from the principal. Oh, James, come down to the office. We got some stuff to talk about. So I get down there, and the joke book's sitting on the principal's desk. I'm oh, whatever. I don't care. So this principal's super pissed off about this book. And it's you can't have this. Why do you have this? I'm it's a book. How did you get this? I bought it at the store. It's not like they didn't sell it to me. And he's mad, giving me all these reasons why it's offensive material. Calls my mom on the telephone and is James is found with this offensive joke book. It's not appropriate for school. Do you know what's in this book? My mom doesn't give a fuck.
Right.
She thought it was funny. I was reading her jokes out of the book.
See, that's what I missed out of my life.
So the principal,
being able to laugh with my parents about that kind of shit,
starts reading some of these jokes. And I actually remember the one particular joke that the principal read over the phone. I'm not going to say it because it is offensive. I'll say it off camera. And my mom's just whatever. So I end up getting detention for this. Now, fast forward a few months later, I end up in the principal's office again for a future story we'll talk about. Now, the principal was yelling at me about the book, takes the book, throws it in the garbage can. This is trash. Fast forward a few months later, I'm in the principal's office for an unrelated thing, and he's got a bookshelf behind him. Don't you know that fucking book is in his bookshelf?
Get out of here.
Yeah, it was right in there.
He took it from you?
He threw it in the garbage and said it was trash. And I went and did whatever the rest of the day, went to my detention. He had to have pulled it out and put it on his bookshelf, so who knows,
He could have been using it to teach kids
who
did it later, or he thought it was hilarious.
He needed some jokes. He was, like I said, he started reading the book, and he's reading these things over the phone to my mom. And the one particular one, like I said, I can't say it on air, but I'll tell you off air.
Yeah.
So that was, pretty funny. Fucking principal.
It's weird, with schools now. How big was your? See, I like I said before, from pre-K to 8th grade, and every single every single grade had 2 classrooms per grade. There was 310 kids in my school, between 310 and 350 depending on the year, because I went from pre-K to 8th grade. And literally, in this whole Catholic school, you went to church 2 days a week. You did, and most of those kids came out really fucked up. Either had kids at like 16, are dead, committed suicide, drugs. I mean, the school, like, so
it was a breeding ground for, delinquency?
It absolutely was, because back then, especially,
you're trying to force the word again
without the internet, because I was in 6th or 7th grade when my parents were able to afford a computer for my household. It wasn't like we had a shit ton of computer, there was no other information other than what you were being taught, which is, again, why I was such a bitch as a kid. And you know what I mean? And didn't stand up for myself. And until I got into high school and realized, okay, this is how you're supposed to do it. I emancipated myself, for lack of a better word.
You know what the internet was for our generation? It was the magazine rack at the grocery store.
I'm so glad that I got to live at least 5 to 7 years of that being my life, of me being able to understand it as a young adult, early teenager. You know what I mean? Because I don't know what I would have done having to grow up in the complete internet world like my stepdaughter is, like my niece is, like Rita is.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a different,
you got a different
kind of feel. Like you said, your mama jokes and stuff was groundbreaking shit in 1998.
Your mama jokes are now your daddy's friend jokes.
yeah, I know, right?
Andrew Dice Clay seems so tame today.
I know, and I remember being that age, and Andrew Dice Clay was my favorite thing ever, and it was so taboo. I remember being a little kid. My grandmother lived down in Erie, Pennsylvania, and Andrew Dice Clay was in town, and I was huge into Dice Man. Had all the tapes, whatever, and he was playing, and obviously 18 and older, and I think my grandmother and her husband ended up going to the show, and I was kind of mad that I couldn't go because I was too young. But yeah, went back and listened to some of them old Andrew Dice Clay tapes. And I'm like, how is this so... It was hilarious, but how is this so offensive? It is definitely tame.
You know who held up his entire career, though, because he did die old, was Carlin.
Oh, yeah.
He did get a little shittier, especially in his last 3 years, as far sort of mean and just so erratic. But Carlin held up his entire career, and all those jokes that he said for his entire career are still relevant today.
Well, yeah,
and great about everything.
The difference between him and a Dice Man, a Dice Man was out there for the vulgarity, the shock factor. Carlin had shit to say in a clever way to actually make you think about it.
Dice will not be funny to read, I don't think.
No,
I don't think he'll be laughing at Dice. He will not be laughing at Carlin. I think he will look at Carlin as a scholar from the past that has somehow predicted the past or the present and the future when he was talking. Kinnison would have been just like Dice had Kinnison lived, because it was shtick.
Well,
Well, Kinnison ran out of steam at the end because drugs and alcohol took over his life.
Definitely. And I still believe people like Stern and stuff, and obviously all of his handlers, just like Chris Farley, are sort of the reason why these guys were able to go off the rails so hard. I mean, it sucks that at least now these superstars seem to be taming out, where they do seem to be stopping drugs in their late 20s.
Well, it's because, everybody's protective of the brand now. Back then, the brand didn't really exist. You're out there doing your thing, making your money. Now you're not making the money the same exact way. So now you have to brand yourself. I mean, shit. That's what us two people are trying to do, too. It's a brand.
What the fuck is your guys' brand?
I don't even know.
Well, we're building
we probably should have started with that.
We're still trying to figure that out, I suppose.
Two middle-aged...
You're not even middle-aged. You're a youngster. You fucking just turned 32.
32 is I consider... For
Shit,
me, it's middle-aged. I know that.
I was only... in the law... You look at the math at the end, it probably is your middle age, but shit, I was only on my second midlife crisis at your age.
64 is a good number for me. I'd be happy, I'd be happy with 64.
So yeah, I mean, you're still kind of young. Yeah. At least that's what us old timers look at you youngsters as.
When you get in the process of cleaning yourself up and trying to get ready for the real world, there's people that do it at fucking 60. who just destroyed their life until 60. I feel extremely lucky that we're sitting here filming a podcast and being able to work at jobs and not be fucked up all the time.
I know. Could you imagine being 40 and doing this?
No.
41.
I don't mean it like that. I mean it like...
40 was so last year for me.
40 is still... Listen, 40 is still 30. Once you get to a certain
40
age...
is a new 30.
40 is 32. There's no difference between the age of 32 and the age of 40 to a kid like Reed thinking about it. There's a difference between...
I'm greater than you are.
How much
difference.
older is your sister?
3 years.
Yeah. Even that, like, I feel there's more of a difference between them two in age and, like, what they know, what they do, like, what they've experienced, than there is the 32-year-old and the 40-year-old. We experienced a lot of it. There's not much more I have to experience to have that experience of you two.
I don't know. Did cell phones exist when you were in high school?
Yeah. Well, not across the board.
I mean, with
nothing like not even half the capacity of they are where Reed is at. But they started to. Like I said, I didn't get my first home computer until like 1997 or 8.
How many times did you have to go look for a payphone?
Many times.
Yeah. All right.
Well, he grew up in Ken.
No, well, I grew up in Black Rock. No,
Kenmore is
no.
Exactly.
Now, this is a good conversation because now I know what he's saying. Because this is what I was trying to convey earlier. That I did get to live that. I'm so grateful that I did get to experience what you... Not at your guys' ages, so I wasn't out drinking and shit experiencing it. But as far as recording with a cassette tape songs off the radio and waiting 4 hours to hear Self-Esteem and get it on tape, that's a real thing.
Yeah.
That Brett Michaels interview that we'll show a picture of that I interviewed when I was 16, I had to literally take a landline telephone with the spin dial. I had to call him with the spin dial, connect a 4-track, or one of the first digital... It was either 8 or 16 track recorders I borrowed from a friend.
Just to let you know, like, when you were at that age, like, spin dials were pretty ancient at that point. Like, it was all about the cordless phone at that point.
They were, but we didn't have cell phones.
Well, you lived in Kenmore, so you guys probably didn't even know what cordless phones were.
Well, Black Rock, but
even worse.
West Side, pretty much. But
did you guys have the cans with the strings?
Yeah, across. It's funny because that's how we communicate with our neighbors who became our best friends. But yeah, we do stupid shit like that. So yeah, but it's true. Yeah. Oh yeah, dude. That's not just movie shit. I mean, that's shit people did.
That's Black Rock shit.
It's ghetto.
Was it second story?
For
like your bedroom up in the second story to your neighbor's bedroom?
Yeah, absolutely. In the beginning when we first lived upstairs before my parents bought the full house and we turned it into a single house. Yeah.
Did you guys also design slick shoes?
No.
So, Reed, at some point there was a time when, Chris communicated with soup cans with a string attached between the two of them. That's
just
real
to
shit.
My friends.
I think you're more ancient than I am. I never want. Well,
anyways, to finish the story, I had to literally take this phone and connect it to the 16-track recorder to get the interview on to tape because there was no other way to do it unless there was no speaker phone on there or anything like that.
They did have those mini tape recorders back then.
No, they did, but how would I...
You could have went to Brand Names when I was working there and I would have sold you
I had
one.
a lot of them. That's how I got those cassette tapes of the shows that I used to go to. I used to take the recorder, but you got to understand...
And if little Rosie Red Cheek Chris came in and said, hey, I need a cassette recorder so I can go interview Brett Michaels, I would fucking give you like a 50% discount.
In order to do that, I had to do it on this old school telephone. That's the problem. I could only record it through that telephone. So that's the only way I was able to get it on the tape at all. Even if I had a recorder, this telephone was a fucking spin dial telephone. There was no how would I even record that conversation?
It was a
curly cord. I still have the phone, and next time I meet him, he's gonna sign it for me. I know that.
Yeah, it's like, I saved this phone. This is what I had to interview you on this thing.
Yeah, because then I ended up putting, to listen to this over and over and be able to rewind and fast forward, we, like I said, we had a computer for maybe 6 years, and burners were just becoming a thing, CD burners. So I got the track onto the computer, put it on a CD, and then he actually signed the CD and shit, which is pretty cool. But the interview was supposed to be...
You called all your friends on the dial
Oh,
phone.
yeah. I have the dial. I have the dial phone in my attic at my house. My parents are going to throw it out.
Every rose has a thorn. Every rotary phone has a curly cord.
It's true, man. Those... But having the information at your fingertips, which is what we were going back to, is needed nowadays. You know what I mean?
It's not necessarily needed. We're just so accustomed to it.
It is now because we're accustomed. It's needed now because of how far
I mean,
it came in 20,
if you took it away from
years.
everybody, yeah, it's needed. But if we didn't have it,
yeah,
we go back to having record stores and digging through vinyl.
Oh,
I think it's ubiquitous, but not necessary.
The record store comment I have a problem with. It's bigger than ever before right now. Past vinyl's originally being sold. Before
the record stores?
Oh, dude, yeah.
But it's not the same. Like, yeah, it's bigger because there's a market for it, but you're not going to the record store to specifically dig through albums to search for you. Yeah. But I'm saying to find a band that you've never heard of before.
No, I do that
Maybe
too,
in the $1 box, you start going through people's shit that didn't get a release and you didn't know them on MySpace or anything.
That's a very good point.
But that's when I say record store, I mean like... Go to there for like 3 hours, dig through everything.
Well, would you say
come out with some new shit you never knew about?
Comic books and records can be completely comparable to what we're talking about, right? Would you say that the comic book game and the record game? I worked in
a comic book store when I was 12 years old.
Did you? That's pretty rad. Where in Lockport?
In Lockport. There used to be
cool.
Mayor Tucker.
Not his. There was the one that was down by 7-Eleven. It was a sports card / comic book store. Used to spend so much time there. Like the dude was just like, I'll just give you like $5 an hour to sit here and take all these baseball and football cards and put them in the sets. And I used to sit in the back room, listen to my Walkman, put $5 an hour, 7-Eleven right next door to get some
Okay, when you worked there, did you have people that would go through every box to and then pick out the stuff that they seen based on cover, like that they didn't know about? Was that a thing? Because nowadays what they
not really, because people, I mean, if you look at it, you see cool artwork, you buy it. It's pretty much what it is.
Well, record digging and comic book digging has changed. Now it's all about the people who are selling them.
But the funny thing about the comic book store is there was two kids that worked there, and they had both gotten fired because at the time Pro Set was just the big thing in football cards. They used to put these special cards in there. There was like a Santa Claus, the Lombardi Trophy. I think it was a hologram. And
this is way before they were doing
this was like 90
merch cards.
This is like 90, 91. So they were just putting the special cards in. I was big into card collecting too. So the big thing that year was the hologram Lombardi Trophy card in the Pro Set. And at the time, like it was going like fresh out of a pack. You could get it's worth about $1,000. You could get it for like $600-700. You'd sell it. So these kids, like they had to open up certain boxes and get enough loose cards out for the shop and sets. But also they had to sell packs.
Right.
These kids just went through and got the whole shipment of these Pro Sets, ripped open all the packs, found a Lombardi, and then tried selling it to a different card store and covering their ass like they didn't get the Lombardi. And the guy called and fired that dude for doing it. And then a few months later, there was another set with another special card, and the fucking kid that was left over did the same exact fucking thing and got fucking fired for it.
Wow.
So then the owner ended up working all the hours, and then I don't even know what happened.
Yeah, I mean, and that was, now, flipping's the same way now, because you got these stores in the mall and stuff now that are virtually like flea markets. Like, you buy your space, and you put your shit in there. So a lot of the shit is priced to sell. Mm-hmm. And you see, me and Val were just in the mall the other day, and the guy literally had, like when you close a mall store, you get that fucking gate that comes down, and it's normally at half mast when there's still people in the store, but it's getting late. Basically, you say it's time to get the fuck out of here. Mm-hmm. Well, there's these two people digging through comic books, and Val's like, man, they really like comics. I'm like, no. They probably do, but they know what they're looking for. They were there, literally.
See,
did you find anything good? Two people. Did you find anything good? Did you find... And I've been starting to do that shit with music more and more.
Even that's a little bit different, though, than how the record store used to be when that was your place to find out all your information about new music. Because now, when you go to these flea market places, you see somebody's collection, you're digging through the collection for specific shit. Like, oh, did this person, is there a rare first press into the wall in here that somebody has? Or
Right, and now we have all that
Japanese
information.
release.
yeah.
Yeah.
So it's not
Which
like...
it goes way beyond those two, too. I mean, there are tons of presses.
And even that, like, that's the closest thing you have nowadays to recreating that same feeling you had back then. Right. Is when you walk into the flea market and you see the collection.
And
you see a stack of comic books and you're like, okay, what am I going to find in here?
You know what sucks about that?
Maybe even I will find something I never had heard of that came out way back when, and then I will have something new.
My mind goes right to the value of it now, which I
which you can
hate.
You pull your you pull your phone right out, you look it up. Like that just happened to me 6 months ago. I was at where I work. They had some old ass football cards, and like I said, I was a collector. They were still unopened packs. They were selling them for 25 cents a piece, so I pull out my phone and see like what was the valuable card in that set.
Well, that's why the market has risen on what everything from comic book to sport cards to records are now worth, because in a store, if you walk into a toy store and a toy is listed on eBay for $200, which is very, very possible and happens all the time, listed as, that does not mean that's what that's worth.
It's only worth what somebody's...
Unless you can find one that is the same exact item that's sold for that. So
things only worth as much as they sell, and that's why these things stay on the shelves for years and years at a time.
Right, yeah. And like stuff like Pawn Stars and stuff, I mean, have just completely made it seem like everything is worth something.
Well,
that's not
anywhere
true. Go
now,
back to the lunchbox.
Not even when you go garage sale, and like everybody thinks they have treasure, and you don't have treasure.
Yep.
You know what's coming back? These Pokemon cards that are like first edition.
Yep.
It's all over YouTube.
Did I just see one that sold for like $600,000?
Yeah, it was one of the first. It was one of the first Charizards, which was the one that was the big thing then. You're talking about these special cards and hockey packs, because Pokemon was my era, like my age. Like it was right in between. It was right after they were already out of that kind of shit. Like Pokemon, and it's funny, Reed, because I probably have 500 Pokemon cards that
you should probably look through them, because there's ones that are worth hundreds of thousands of dollars. There's like packs that are selling for so much money, like $500,000.
It's wild.
And what's wild to me is somebody that grew up in like the golden age of card collecting. The holy grail for the longest time is that Hannes Wagner. I think it's the 1912 or 1917 card.
Right.
And even till now, it's the highest priced baseball card. It kind of sets the market for prices on everything else. And at one point it went for 1.6. I think Wayne Gretzky owned it at one point.
Right.
Somebody just recently bought it higher. But it's crazy to think that now a Pokemon card already at $600,000, like in the future it's only going to go higher. So this Pokemon card is going to be worth more than this Hannes Wagner card.
Now.
And oh my goodness, look what
those wrestling cards.
Look
That's
what
right there.
We got
I have a ton of wrestling cards.
Some Jimmy Superfly Snukas. I got
a
man.
The Don, a lot of I
the
see
Star
some Don
Wars,
Russ cards, which Don
E.T.
Russ was the company that did the cards in the 70s and 80s.
King Kong.
Those
didn't even know this set existed. This is beautiful. The E.T. have the E.T. I have the Gremlins original set and all the stickers.
The Kiss ones are really cool from 77 to 78, because on the back of every single card,
Jake the Snake Roberts, ready to strike.
Jake the Snake.
Jake the Snake.
Okay, that's where that came from. In elementary school, they would swing this stick around, you had to jump over it. They called it Jake the Snake. I had this one teacher who, she was a sub, she didn't know what she was doing, and she started swinging around, and it would hit the kids' necks. So she was swinging it, I'm serious, it really happened.
She was a big wrestling fan, huh?
Or she just didn't know how to swing a snake.
Dude, I saw Jake the Snake live so many times when I was a kid.
Did you?
Yeah, because we used to go to those odd events. Like I saw Jimmy Hart get his clothes ripped off, and he's wearing a bra and panties underneath.
Oh no!
Oh, you were
we were there for him. Like my uncles and my dad were like super into it in like the late '80s when it was out. I remember them doing the claw, and I was like, "What is the claw?" That dude was never on TV. He died before WWF.
A Sergeant Pepper's card. I have the Bill and Ted.
Look at this kid.
Yeah,
I have the Bill and Ted Pro set cards too.
Do you?
I have like 4 or 5 packs. Yeah.
Weird Ball, which were the knockoff Garbage Pail Kids.
Yeah, how much fun are you having with that? Like, how many memories is all that shit bringing back right now?
A lot, because now that I think about it, like, I have more cards than I thought I had. No, we got to get to business.
Okay, so this,
we're gonna sit here looking.
This is what I'm talking about right
cards.
here. So this is the Sgt. Pepper card. So the Kiss ones, this is a puzzle piece.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So like that's what's so fucking cool. You get the whole set and then you put them upside or backwards or, you know, and it builds this puzzle, which was cool. Wow, these are rad.
Yeah, we got to get down to business here. We'd be stuck on cards for the next 3 episodes.
Our conversation rules right now, man.
Until I bust out my starting lineups.
Oh man, I almost bought a Michael Jordan starting lineup. I seen pretty good price on. So, anyways, this is Doors at 7, Kitchen at 9. This is the brand we're trying to build.
Yeah, here's the brand.
And some cards. If this don't cut it, maybe we can go through and sell some cards. I'll go have to dig through my collection.
We talked about Pokemon and lunchboxes today.
I don't have any Pokemon. Chris, I hope you got some of them rare ones.
Yeah, me too.
So anyways.
Oh, but before, real quick, sorry. The value thing. Don't give me that.
No, I was just doing that because I'm trying to do the fucking professional intro.
Okay.
No, tell us about the value.
The value thing, that it's not necessarily true. You have to sort of sell when it's when the market's hot, because that Pokemon card can dip. That Charizard used to sell for that much when they were coming out because they were so rare and hard to find, and then people were buying like 20 of them for like $100 because they were so common and no one wanted to give a fuck.
Did you watch? There's a Netflix documentary about that card.
No.
It's. Should I tell you what it is?
Yeah.
Okay, so.
Spoiler.
The guy that started Upper Deck, he came from a different card company, and you know that Upper Deck that's been my favorite. That's been my favorite card of all time is the '89 Upper Deck Ken Griffey Jr. card.
The rookie,
and it's his rookie card.
Right.
And it's like an iconic thing in baseball. When that came out, Upper Deck was their first year of putting out cards, and their thing was they had the hologram on the back for their card.
Right. Yeah.
Better photography. So this card ends up being, and even when it came out, it was already in the shops for like $36 to $50 right off the bat. Luckily, I had 2 of them. I had every Ken Griffey Jr. card for almost his entire career. One of my favorite baseball players, but the guy realized like how much the value was. So on the side, he was printing extra Ken Griffey Jr. rookie cards and selling them around the country when it got up to like $500, and they fucking were just banking all these card shops out of their money on these Ken Griffey Jr. cards, and like this whole thing happened. He might have got in trouble for it. Like Upper Deck kind of went down. Like it kind of crashed the entire market. Wow. Like I said, there's a whole.
How long did it take him to find out?
I think like a couple years maybe, but to the point where like all these shops are trying to get this card, so he's just in the back printing just stacks of that card, and selling them one piece at a time all over the country. And these shops are throwing down a couple $100. And
still happens every day. Counterfeits.
I'm sure it does.
These weren't even real counterfeits, right? These are like
this is the actual guy that ran Upper Deck. Like saw the money,
crazy.
So he had the ability to print these cards himself.
Is there a way to distinguish an original print versus
I'm not sure if there is.
Probably maybe
no, because
maybe not. If it was because it was his press.
Like same tool.
He's the one that was already printing the cards, so he has all the proofs.
Wow.
So he's actually just printing more of this card and getting it out in the circulation without people knowing.
Yeah, so it's not a counterfeit. It was the guy who originally made them making more of a limited press run. That'd be like
I don't even know if it wasn't even a really limited press.
Well, that was the thing with Upper Deck, why those cards were so much more valuable. It wasn't just the hologram, it wasn't just the photography. They limited their runs because when cards started taking off in '88 and '89, like Topps, Don Russ, even Fleer, they were just printing as many as
Bowman,
they could.
Exactly.
Kids were buying them.
So is it safe to say that it was limited then?
Upper Deck was, but Ken Griffey.
The '89 card, like when the guy found out what a kind of gold mine he was sitting on, he was just printing them off and distributing them places and cashing them because he knew when it was the buyer's market, seller's market for him.
Wow.
Like he knew the price was up, and even today, like the card is still pretty fucking valuable. I think the last time I seen it in a shop, someone had like a $90 sticker on it.
But because of that situation, it had a devalued card. Collectors are so weird about that shit.
At one point, wasn't it?
I don't know if it got up to that.
It was definitely 40. 20, and then I remember seeing 40, but then I got too old.
Yeah, it got up there. It got up there pretty high. And like I said, this documentary, I had just seen it within the last year, so it's pretty new. So,
but one that's rated an 8 might get that kind of money. But one that's rated a 6, it's all based on rate. It's all
you're not getting that price at least until a 9.
Well, right. Well, that's what I mean. I mean, I'm just.
But I mean, this guy, if he's printing off his own cards out of his own stock with the legitimate stuff, like he can make sure he's pulling a bunch of 9.3s, 9.8s, a 10.
You want to translate trading cards for millennials?
Yeah, for sure.
So you know how you guys trade skins in games like Rocket League?
I don't know how cards work. It's cards.
I don't know.
Well, maybe some of our audience does.
No,
you know what?
Trade and sell cards. Like
I don't even know what the
That's
fuck
what
is.
we used to do with cards. Like
what the fuck is skins?
I mean, kids were doing that when I was in elementary school.
What are skins? Like, why don't you teach me what skins are? Because I know cards.
Teach the dinosaurs about skins.
All right, maybe you need to explain it to me.
Like potato skins? I just made a bunch of those.
He knows about cards,
like
so we're the idiots.
Paint job for your car. They call the decal or a skin.
And you guys trade those.
I mean,
you trade, you sell them.
You can. There's different games. There's like tradings and.
Well, that sounds as stupid as trading cards.
It's all the microtransactions. It's a way for all these games to have a free game, but then you buy the skins.
But like the skins are like really cool, so everyone wants them.
Oh, so it is the same exact
thing.
There's
ones that are
no, it's not, because
there's some that are super rare.
I mean, okay, I guess
I opened a really rare skin. It was only like $30, but it was like really rare. It was like it had this special paint on it, and like paint was like a 1% chance to get on it on this already really low percent drop rate item. And I was like freaking out the entire day.
Is there I get it
now. Like,
is there a market if you were to go on that day and sell it on eBay? Would it have been bought?
They got websites that people are like buying and trading off of like websites to try not to get scammed, because there are scammers that are like, oh yeah, I have this, so give me the money and then I'll give it to you.
Wow.
There's a whole like market out there.
And what's remarkable about that, I think, is that somebody figured out how to translate the old way into the new way and make that money.
Mm-hmm.
And like, I would have never thought selling fucking video game paint would. I mean,
I know.
At least
that was smart as fuck.
At least with the cards, you could either put the puzzle together, or you could learn about somebody's batting average for the last 6 seasons.
Well, that's sort of. I mean, that's why cards were so important, because A, you couldn't go online and look up the image. B, there was always cool facts on these fucking cards that you couldn't get anywhere else unless there was a book about it or something.
Did it talk about how Jimmy Superfly murdered his wife? That card?
No,
she was still alive during that card.
To be a positive.
Well, no, she was still alive during that card. That's why.
Yeah.
That'd be in like last year's edition, maybe.
That's funny, but these are cool to look at. But all right, James, lead us in.
Yeah, because I mean, we could sit here and talk about cards all day, and then people are gonna be like, "What the fuck?"
No, I think they're gonna like it.
Okay, so the brand, doors at 7, kitchen at 9. Us talking about Pokemon cards and rotary phones. All right, folks. So I hope you enjoyed our collectible talk. I don't even remember what the fuck it was about. Like I said,
I fucking loved it.
Did you?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I remember we talked about the hologram fucking Pro Set cards. That was pretty sweet. So, one thing I'm gonna say is, you motherfuckers are watching the show, but you're not subscribing and liking these fucking videos as much as you want to. So you need to start getting in on this, because we do have a collectible giveaway.
We're giving a collectible giveaway.
Yeah, we're giving.
Tell us more.
Tell you more. Okay, we got some shit, and we're gonna be giving away Chris's fucking collection of shit.
His entire collection.
His autographed Joan Jett shit. I don't know, a bunch of shit. But every comment on a video that we've posted is an entry. When we get to 100 subscribers, we're giving shit away. We got. Look at all this cool shit up here. I don't know if Bob wants to get rid of his fucking. Is that Steve Young or Joe Montana?
I got Joe Montana. I got none of my shit's available.
Yeah. Well, you get an idea of kind of, well, maybe one of these fucking
Dude, I got
McDonald's
18
toys.
#1 comic right there behind you. That's A-Team #1.
If Bob has A-Team #1 comic, I have Kid and Play #1. I'll give that away.
Oh shit!
You want Kid and Play #1 fucking comic book?
So, terms of the contest: every comment on our video, this video, old videos, up to 5 comments per video. That's an entry. And then when we get 100 subscribers, we will have a drawing, and we will have.
We're gonna fill this whole shit up with merch, and we'll just be like, you get this, you get. We're gonna be like fucking Oprah.
Probably not. But at least one piece from each of their collection will be available. Yeah. And kind of like, I think, like pick 3, and then that gives them an option of what they want to pick out of those 3.
Kind of like them little games that they play with, like, church. I don't know. I've never been to church. I don't know. So
what other games have they told you about they play at church? A little fucking hide the snake?
It's the serpent. He tempted Jesus. Alright, so yeah, that's pretty much it. You saw the collectibles. Chris isn't here. He's snuggling with his Gene Simmons dolls right now with the sniffles, even though he tested negative. So like, subscribe, comment on these fucking videos. I know, Jake, you're going to comment on it, so you can just have whatever dinosaur toy out of my collection you want. Actually, I think you have like 5 of my dinosaurs. You can keep them there for your videos. Like, comment, and win some shit. Kitchen's closed.
Cool.